I just had to take like a little praise break because my brain is blown right now. And I was listening to Kirk Franklin, Imagine Me, which is just, it's like one of those songs that I listen to when I need to connect closer to the portal that is my spirituality, right? It's what I listen to when I need to allow my feelings permission to like crawl across my skin and to seep into my soul so that I can really hear the message that I need to hear. But I had to learn how to stop letting other people's voices tell me how to pray, tell me how I needed to dress when I prayed, tell me how I needed to talk when I would pray, right? Because if I'm coming as I am, I'm not always put together. I'm not always in a space where it's going to look polished for somebody. And the interesting part about that is that when I stopped letting other people dictate how I was supposed to receive God's words for me, it's when I got closer to my spiritual self. It's when I started receiving my downloads for the messages that I needed to hear so that I could do the right thing and live a life that aligned best with my calling. When I was listening to what everybody else had to tell me about how I needed to pray and how I needed to move and how I needed to talk to God and how I needed to dress with God, it was so convoluted that I couldn't even hear his message because I had all of these other people like digging in to the call line, right? It was so interesting because I was thinking to myself, it used to be a song called like Operator Information Calling Jesus on the Line. And I'm like, it was like all the other people's voices were coming down the line as God was talking. So I couldn't hear him talking. I could only hear all these extra voices telling me like, sit up straight, look well, put longer dress. You can't listen to this. You can't talk to that. Why are you looking at, and I'm like, I can't hear God's message because you guys are telling me your insecurities, right? God is not sent here to tell me about his insecurities. He's sent here to talk to me about the journey that I'm supposed to be on. And when you allow other people's voices to kind of like dig into that space, it just becomes like dubbed conversations. Like you see people's lips moving, but the words aren't coming fast enough. And then you're waiting for God to talk to you, but he's waiting for them to finish talking because now your attention is in too many different places. And when I take like these like little moments of like a praise break where I'll stop and need like listen to like a wonderful song. And sometimes it's because I'm waiting to hear like the chant. I'm waiting for that call and response. Those are the gospel songs that I love the most because, and also I want to shake my shoulders a little bit, but those are the songs that I love the most because I feel like that's where I hear the message. That's where I can download the information. And that it just, I implore you to, when you're exploring your spirituality, to learn how to have quiet conversations with God in the way that you speak in the language that you understand. I implore you to do that, right? And it's going to sometimes feel weird or like you're being disrespectful or disobedient because you were like told that this is the only way you can receive the message. And that's not true. Like, that's why we have all of these beautiful, different kinds of religion that you can learn about, all these different kinds of ways to pray and chant and be invoked to have such a beautiful spirit about you and to be able to download and understand your mission while you're here on earth. So like, don't let other people's insecurities about how they think you're supposed to present yourself to your spiritual beliefs limit you from receiving the message because you keep hearing their voices. Like, sometimes you just gotta be like, shh. And then you turn back around. Shh. You gotta get him. Shh. Not today. Not. And then you have to quiet the voices in your head because after you hear somebody else's voice, then you be in your head like, I can't even believe she's still talking. And then you got to learn how to quiet the voices in your head so that you can receive the message as well. I'm just saying, like, I love a good praise break, but I love a good praise break where it allows me to connect in a way that in a language that I understand. And that could be through music, it could be through reading, it could be through a conversation, it could be all these different places. But I'm really big on just hearing the voice that I need to hear versus all the extra voices. And that took a long time for me to do that because, I am an obedient type personality. Now, will I challenge you? Yes. Will I do a quick research to make sure you're telling me the truth? Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will. But I'm an obedient person once I believe what's being said. Now, you lied to me once. Don't be mad when I Google what you said. Just,